Hi. I get a lot of questions from people with chronic like sciatica, SI joint pain, one-sided back pain, hip pain, knee pain, things like that, who are stumped as to why they're having pain. So today I'm going to take you through a simple test I use to determine if there is a hidden compensation pattern occurring that is contributing to this pain. This compensation pattern typically will occur if you have one-sided back pain or sciatic pain or SI joint pain, things like that. The way I'm going to put this video together, it's going to be in two parts. So this is the first part, and what this part will have is the test. I will not go over how to interpret the test in this video because I want to make sure that you do the test first before you understand how to interpret it. Once you understand how to interpret it, it will change how you've done the test. At the end of this video, I'll put a link to the next video on how to interpret your results. Okay, so what is the test? I'm going to take a little break here and ask you to please subscribe, like, and most importantly, please share this and my other videos with other people who are experiencing pain. These ideas really help people with pain, and that's why I'm making the videos, so thanks for doing that. All right, so basically what we're going to be doing is using a chair, a stool, a couch. You can use a table, you can use anything you want, but we're going to be standing up from that chair or stool or whatever you're using with just one leg, and then you're going to sit down with that same leg. So we're only going to do one repetition. All right, that's all. So what you need to do is find a chair height or stool height or table height, whatever you're going to be using, that is challenging to you, using just one leg to stand up and sit down. Play around with whatever height that is. If you want to get a simple kitchen chair and put books on it or pillows or something like that to build it up if it's too low, or get a stool or anything that you feel is appropriate. Again, we're only going to be doing one repetition. Please do not do a lot of trial and error repetitions to determine the exact height of your chair. That will also change the results of the test. Okay, the other question a lot of people will have is, hey, my balance isn't so great. I don't think I can stand up and sit down with one leg without falling over. Well, you're allowed to use a pole in your hand. You can use a broom. You can use a hiking pole. You can use whatever you want. But the idea here is that you have to use the pole in the same hand as the leg that you're using to stand up and sit down with. So I don't want, for instance, your right leg to be standing up and sitting down and you have a pole in your left hand. Your pole should be in your right hand. Similarly, if you're using your left leg to stand up and sit down, then keep the pole in your left hand, not the right hand. Okay, that's very important. The other thing about using a pole is that you need to pay attention to how much you're using that pole. So if you're using it a lot to help you stand up because you don't have good strength, then pay attention and judge the amount of help that your hand is giving you. The last thing that you can do if you're really unsure of your balance and stability and all that is simply put a chair in a doorway so you have the doorway to hold on to in order to assist you with balance. You would only get to use one hand, and it would be the same hand as the leg that you're standing up and sitting down with. All right, so I want you to be safe. Lastly, when using a pole or a doorway or whatever you're going to be doing, I don't want you to pull yourself up with whatever you're using in your hand, because then your arms are taking the place of your legs. That kind of defeats the purpose of the test. Only use the hands to push down with, for instance, a pole, or to steady yourself only when you need to, when you're standing up and sitting down. You can have shoes on or off for this test. It's really up to you. Lastly, to give you really good feedback about this test, have a camera videotaping you from the front, showing how you're standing up and sitting down. This will be invaluable for reviewing once we get to the second video about how to interpret the test. Okay, so we've covered the whole setup. You've got your chair or stool or whatever you're going to stand up with. You've got a pole if you need it for balance. You've got a doorway if you need more balance. And you're not going to pull yourself up. You're going to use your hands, and you're going to pay attention to your hands if necessary to see how much each hand is helping you out. Now here's the test. After all that, it's really quite simple. Pick a leg that you want to stand up with, and you're simply going to stand up and then sit down using that one leg. Now you're going to choose the other leg. Stand up and then sit down using that leg. That's it. It's just one simple test. Please watch the next video about how to interpret this and how this simple test may be the key to you figuring out why you have stubborn one-sided back pain, sciatic pain, SI joint pain, hip pain, knee pain, all sorts of things that no one's been able to figure out. Lastly, I want to mention that I've created a free masterclass to help people solve their back and sciatic pain. That link is below. And also I've made home programs to help people solve their pain from head to toe. And I've posted a discount code below in the description to give you a 25% off discount for any of my home programs. I look forward to seeing you there.